Hello, everyone. Welcome to Notre Dame Fighting Irish Live, right here on the Voice of College Football. I'm your host, Will ND, and today we're going to talk about the extremely disappointing news that Jack Swarbrick and co. refused to back head coach Marcus Freeman with getting the offensive coordinator that he wants in Andy Ludwig. It's extremely disappointing and a huge slap in the face to Marcus Freeman, the players, and even the fans. And we're going to talk about it right here on the Voice of College Football. So, Notre Dame, if you don't know, was looking to hire Utah offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig from the Utah Utes, who's done a fantastic job there, developed Cam Rising, and won 2 straight Pac-12 championships, most recently over the Irish's big rival, the USC Trojans. So the man knows how to break down Alex Grinch's defense and knows how to put up the points against the Trojans, which the Irish did struggle with a bit, although the defense was the main concern in that game. Hey Larry, I'm sure you're happy that the Irish were too cheap in this endeavor. And we're saying is Andy broke. That's the thing. Notre Dame isn't broke. They're just not willing to support their athletic department, especially in football, which is extremely frustrating. I know there's people up there in the Notre Dame hierarchy that don't want the football team to be the main. They don't want to be known for being a football school, which Notre Dame will always be known as a football school because of the history, because of the Knute Rockne, Frank Leahy, Eric Parsegian, Dan Devine, Lou Holtz eras where Notre Dame was consistently ranked, consistently challenging for national championships. And they don't like that. A lot of people in the Notre Dame boardroom don't like that. They want to be known as an academics powerhouse, which they have been, but they would have never gotten there if it wasn't for the football program. So it's just extremely frustrating as fans. Tickets cost more than they ever have. Polos cost $200 in the team store. It just seems backwards. Why? It just seems backwards, like what Notre Dame is doing right now. And Notre Dame right now just isn't supporting football. And obviously, right, I can kind of understand where Kelly was coming from. Brian Kelly, who's now at LSU, but he also wasn't putting in the amount of time that is needed to be successful in recruiting at Notre Dame. And I felt like he thought it wasn't even worth it because he wasn't able to get the coaches that he wanted. But it is what it is. Marcus Freeman is putting that time into recruiting. He's got a great recruiting class. I know it's only ranked like 10th in some sources, but a lot of the guys, when they committed to Notre Dame, their numbers went down, which was weird, but it is, don't forget. Yes, of course, Tyler Huntley as well. 2.8 for Ludwig is cheap, and it's embarrassing that. So this is what I've heard on a Notre Dame show that I watched earlier today, Irish Breakdown. Brian Driscoll comes on here and talks Irish with Mark once in a while. And apparently the director of football operations, Ron Paulus, who was a quarterback back in the day, the quarterback that lost the winning streak against USC. So he's not that well liked as a quarterback, but he has been working as a director of football operations. Initially told Jack Swarbrick that it was the old buyout, which was only like $800,000, I believe. And once Jack Swarbrick learned that it was 2.8, he thought it wasn't worth it, which is a slap in the face because everyone on the coaching staff that talked to Andy Ludwig loved him. Even Jared Parker, who was one of the contenders to get the offensive coordinator job, who's probably going to get it now because they're probably just going to hire in staff because who wants to work as offensive coordinator as a third choice? Like, no one wants to be the third choice. Like, Colin Klein from Kansas State was the first choice. He turned it down, and now Andy Ludwig, they won't pay 2.8 for him, which is just embarrassing. Like, there are so many wealthy alumni at Notre Dame. It would literally take them like 8 hours to raise that money, the 2.8 themselves. So it's just it makes my brain hurt thinking about what Notre Dame was thinking, the higher ups, not Marcus Freeman. Marcus wanted and Coach Andy Ludwig. But it just hurts my head to think what they were thinking and why they didn't think it was worth it. But yeah. So congrats to Utah and Oregon State for Pilgrims built the right way. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know that, but that's still for Notre Dame. That shouldn't be that much money with all the money that's going into everything else. Like yeah, well, they were trying to. Yeah, I know they're trying to do, but they were trying to get him at Kansas State. It just makes my brain hurt why Notre Dame can't pay even $7 million for two coaches. Notre Dame should easily be able to afford that. It should only take like a week to raise all that money. And I understand if Notre Dame doesn't want to pay for players, but they have to at least put the players that they are getting in the best case to develop and be successful. So it's just extremely frustrating as a Notre Dame fan. I feel like this feels worse than the Stanford loss. Honestly, this feels worse than the Stanford loss, and it's just extremely frustrated that Notre Dame isn't totally bought in to the Jack Swarbrick and Father John Jenkins aren't bought in to getting Marcus Freeman the most success that he can. And Larry does want the StreamYard. I will give Larry the StreamYard link. So feel free to pop in, Larry, and talk some. We could talk some Utes, talk some Irish. Just waiting for Larry to come in. My connection is being a little sketchy, but I think we're all okay right now. Cal needs to call. We got the Rod Farva saying, Ohio State fan here, Andy will still find a great coach. Fans need to rely so much on a sexy hire. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I understand that, Rod. It's just, I feel like if Ryan Day wanted Andy Ludwig, he would have gotten him in like a minute. But Notre Dame just doesn't support their program as much as Ohio State does. So that's why, like, when I look at Ohio State, Alabama, they would immediately support their program. But for Notre Dame, they don't do that. It's just extremely frustrating as a fan. We got Connor here. Cal needs to call Notre Dame and talk to them and to join the pack. Oh, Connor is a silly beaver. Not sure if sexy is the right coach for Ludwig. Yeah. I mean, I know there's still optimism in the program, but it really hurts to see that the program isn't being supported by his administration. And yeah, I just don't understand why Ron Paulus, the director of football operations, didn't know what the actual buyout was. Like, do your job. Like, I could have done a better job than him into that. It shouldn't be that hard. So just extremely frustrating. But I'm going to drop the link here for Larry again. I don't know if Larry got it. Yeah. And yeah, Kenny Minchie, we are excited about Kenny Minchie here in Notre Dame land. He looked extremely good in the quarterback show, the Elite 11 show. It says you're backstage. That's weird. Why don't I see you backstage, Larry? Feel free to go by me. 1 second. Why is it not say? Maybe I need to refresh and come back. I'm gonna refresh, see if I can find Larry. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I still don't see Larry. Why is it doing this? Okay. Yeah. I don't know why. Oh, there's Larry.
Hey,
Larry,
there you are.
your Utes are keeping their offensive coordinator, Andy Ludwig.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out through my source, the truth about it. So somebody put in the chat that the OC, the line coach would be coming with him.
Mm-hmm.
And from my understanding, if Ludwig would have took the OC job, the Harding would have been elevated to OC. So he would be an OC at Utah. He would take the OC at Utah far before he ever took a line coach position at Notre Dame. So Harding was not in play.
Well, that's different than what I heard from my Notre Dame insiders. Maybe it probably wouldn't have been that easy as they're saying, but we should still at least land him. And then if that doesn't work out, at least go get an offensive line coach. Like that should
from my understanding, Harding has Andy has been working with Harding to actually get in line to become an offensive coordinator. And so from what I've heard, Harding would have got moved up. He wouldn't have left. So the thing is, Will, how much is a good OC cost? 1.5 a year in a Power 5, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me why somebody wouldn't pay $3 million buyout, whether that was Harding and Ludwig included. I haven't seen the contract. To me, that would just be pretty dumb. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm trying to get my source to tell me what Andy Ludwig was offered to stay at Utah, and this may have just been a situation where Ludwig was never going to go to Notre Dame. It was about position garnering and money garnering in the program at Utah.
Well, from like my Notre Dame sources, they said that he was set to go, and then that the administration just didn't want to pay for it. But I mean and all of Notre Dame on the message boards and everything it's the end of the world. Like everyone's extremely angry on the on YouTube and on the message boards.
Right. We were excited when he came back because we went through Dennis Erickson, and even we even tried Brian Johnson, and it didn't go well. But we were excited to get Andy back because he was our coordinator in that time that we went to the Sugar Bowl. He's developed quarterbacks wherever he's gone. So, I mean, you're not just getting an offensive coordinator, you're getting one of the best quarterback coaches in the country as well. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Why Notre Dame wouldn't have paid. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't understand why Notre Dame it wants to act like it's better than everyone else, yet it won't do what it takes to win. It seems backwards, and that's what the fan base is not happy about.
So with all of this money these boosters give, doesn't Notre Dame have some pretty big boosters?
Yeah, Notre Dame. Well, they don't. Yeah, Notre Dame has a lot of rich alumni that give money to the athletic program. Like they funded the whole athletic complex, the Goog, where all the players train every day.
Right. I would think that there would be at least one booster with big enough pockets who would think that that was a worthy investment and put out the money, if that makes sense.
I feel like the board just didn't want to do it because they didn't want to look at they didn't want to think that football was the end all be all of the school. So it's like it's like they have the money there, they just don't want to use it, which is extremely infuriating to the fan base. It just seems weird and backwards.
Right, which is why, like you were saying, I could see why Brian Kelly would leave if that's,
Yeah.
if you've got a pedigree of being one of the best coaches and you're stuck with that, and I don't blame him for leaving.
Yeah.
And so I was also hearing in your message boards, how long can you guys hold on to Freeman with this kind of stuff going on?
Mm-hmm. It seems like from what the Notre Dame media says that yeah, he won't like it, but it won't affect him. But there's always that thought in the back of my mind that if Ryan Day does leave, will he just go to Ohio State as soon as possible?
Right. Now, what about Hartline? Isn't Hartline supposed to be kind of in line to a degree?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, definitely him. But I feel like Marcus Freeman's. I feel like a Freeman and Hartline combo, like the recruiting that the Buckeyes would have, would be insanely good. That's why I feel like they're likely to work together, but maybe not.
Right.
It's just me. It's just my Notre Dame anxiety, I think, showing there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Notre Dame, but not at the expense of Utah. I mean,
of course, I wouldn't feel bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going, oh no, that's been our issue for years was offense, and as soon as Ludwig came in, our offense took off, and so yeah, I didn't want to lose him. Obviously there's certain games you go, well, why is he doing that? But we could be worse off because who's really out there to get?
Yeah.
So
before Ludwig came, I felt like Utah was kind of like the Iowa of the Pac-12. I mean, obviously not to the same extent, but with Andy Ludwig, you guys upgraded from that for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say because defenses, you know what I mean, are different. So it's hard to compare, Iowa, Utah in a sense of they don't play the same type of teams, but we were always compared to Wisconsin. I heard that for years. We were Wisconsin, run the ball 10 yards in a cloud of dust, play defense, have a good running back and a quarterback that manages. And so, it's nice to see Ludwig in there, and we're still a run first team, but it's not all we do. So yeah, it's and the benefits. I mean, Ludwig was a shoo-in for his style. Notre Dame would have took Notre Dame to another level. So yeah, I'm sorry, Will, but I'm not sorry.
I know, that's just what everyone was saying. This is what everyone was hyping up the hire, and they're like, all right, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. What just happened? And then everyone got all angry last night. I'm not angry as I was yet. Right before I went to bed, I read the news and I was extremely angry. And then I woke up, I was extremely angry. And then I went on the Notre Dame call-in show that I go on YouTube, and we were both angry. Me and the host, we were both angry, kind of giving each other therapy. It was a whole situation.
So you guys agreed that was a great deal to get him, pay that 2.8 and get that man in the building?
Yeah, everyone wanted him. And now everyone's angry at the administration.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it was posturing by Andy. I mean, I don't know. It's just Utah won't release him out of his contract. So was it 2.8 for him and Harding? Is that what was being?
No, it's just 2.8 for Ludwig, and then Harding would have been more money.
Yeah, which Harding, like I said, Harding is next in line for the OC job, just like Morgan Scalley is next in line for the head coaching job. So I don't believe you guys would have got Harding because he would have been elevated to OC, from my understanding, because he already knows the system, and they don't want to. I mean, you've got Cam Rising, you've got a system in place with a returning fifth-year senior quarterback. And so what are you guys going to do? Because now you're behind the 8 ball to utilize Hartman.
Yeah.
Right.
We think probably Jared Parker, who's the tight ends coach and was the offensive coordinator with West Virginia, will probably be the guy. But
okay, is he within the program?
Yes, he is. He's the tight ends coach right now. So
okay. All right.
Probably
Well, maybe that'll work out.
Yeah. And then we'll probably get Chris Wadd, who's a GA, who is training with he was training with the offensive line coach that just retired, Harry Heastan. Although Harry might have stayed the O-line coach if he would have known that it wouldn't have worked out. But right now, he's the GA, and he's been training under Harry for a few years. So we're thinking he'll be the guy at offensive line coach, but we have no idea who's going to be at quarterbacks coach. So that's a complete mystery right now, if it goes the way that Irish fans think it will right now. Yeah, which is very important.
So. I'm on the road, and I'm starting to cut out, so I'm going to probably have to bounce off here because I'm going to lose service here in a minute. So,
all right.
But good luck, Will.
All right, thanks, Larry. Good luck to your Utes next year. A three-peat's definitely possible with Andy Ludwig coming back. So definitely exciting time for Utah.
Yep. All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. And just a quick plug. So, of course, thank you, everyone, for being here on the Notre Dame show on the Voice of College Football. But the new merch is here on the Voice of College Football store and will be coming by the end of the week. So really exciting to check out that merch. I haven't seen it yet. So when it launches, I'll be sure to try to pick something up. So definitely excited for that. And next up on the line for the Notre Dame show, we have Alabama and closet Notre Dame fan as well, Jackson Johnson. What's up, Jackson?
Not much. What's up, Will? How's the Valentine's Day going for you, man?
It's been a little rocky because of this Notre Dame news, but I'm starting to get in better spirits. I'm starting to feel a bit better.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's always another OC candidate, but hey, maybe that means a three-peat for Utah in the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's looking good for the Utes. Definitely looks like they're going to have another great year with Cam Rising.
Well, no worries, though. I can totally relate because Washington's offensive coordinator turned down the Bama OC job to basically run it back with Michael Penix. So it's like, no worries, man.
I think they'll be very good this year too. And they looked good against Texas in the Alamo Bowl for sure.
Oh yeah, that is for sure. So, where to now for Notre Dame is the question.
I think they're probably gonna go in staff and go with Jared Parker, who is the offensive coordinator with Neil Brown. I think that's probably the most likely thing that's going to go on. And then we'll get Chris Watt, promote him to be the offensive line coach. I mean, definitely not as exciting as it was going to be with Andy Ludwig, but it's probably the most likely scenario.
Right.
And but who knows? But the scary thing is, who are the Irish going to hire at O-line? So.
Ooh, that's a good question. You got to protect that QB, Sam Hartman.
But yeah, D-Rock says ND crap. Eagles a broken heart. I agree. Man.
Oh, man.
We got Roger, the USC fan here, giving us a little shoulder. Does Notre Dame need a $3 million loan?
Oh, man. What's up, John A?
We got one scoop here. Thanks so much. Hit that like button.
Absolutely. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Andy doesn't believe in paying buyouts for a football coach. Although I disagree with that. I think he means it seems to go with their mission statement. I mean, yeah, but it's nauseating, man. Just do what it can to help the team. I get it that you don't want to have to pay players upfront NIL money, but at least give them the best coaches to be able to develop. Going to Notre Dame games is so expensive. Getting a parking pass is so expensive. all the merch is so expensive. Why can't some of that money go into the coaching? I don't know, man. It's frustrating and sad.
Gotta
Oh,
be
against. Yeah, I guess it is against getting the program the way that they wanted to.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome to see what Notre Dame USC is gonna be in the regular season. But gotta get through that OC hire first.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll be pretty good, so who knows?
Yeah, I know Isaac Cody. It's what infuriates me the most, man. Like, I like to be a top program. We gotta.
Well, it might get a little easier beating Bama and Georgia because Georgia hired Mike Bobo to be the new offensive coordinator.
You don't
So
like that hire, Jackson?
no,
Mm-hmm.
he's just not national title caliber OC. Mike
Mm-hmm.
Bobo is not. If you want to three-peat as national champions, hiring Mike Bobo is not gonna get you up to the top. It's just not.
Yeah, but do you think he'll knock them down from where they were?
I think that they'll still win the SEC, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they're going to three-peat now. I think Michigan's life might get a little bit easier, and I think Clemson's life is going to get easier.
Yeah. First of all, I mean, Charlie Weiss and Clay Helton's buyouts were both ridiculous. But
oh man, those buyouts were nuts.
But
Yeah,
if you paid out that buyout, your team's going to do a whole lot better. So,
for sure.
yeah.
Maybe Lincoln Riley can win that playoff game in the offseason in the new season.
I mean, John, I feel like
I love
BK.
his logo, the Beavis logo. That's so funny.
Yeah. I know you're all happy that you have BK, but BK wasn't working well with ND. He's working well with LSU. Good for LSU. But I still rather have Marcus Freeman than Brian Kelly because Marcus Freeman does the extra work that it requires to do well at recruiting.
BK.
But he doesn't have to do that work with LSU, so it works out. But I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to trash him as much as I was before because I didn't actually expect him to do that well. But yeah.
Yeah. Got the
Todd, our South Carolina Gamecock fan, thinks that Georgia will be different next year. Mm-hmm.
How different is the question?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, one thing that does excite me about Notre Dame is that they hired a graduate assistant to replace James Laurinaitis and Max Bullock, who was the linebacker graduate assistant from Cincinnati in 2019 and from Alabama to 2020 to 2022, and now he's going to be at Notre Dame. So,
oh man,
yeah, definitely exciting to see. Hopefully, because he's probably going to be the linebacker coach now that since Al Golden is the defensive coordinator, he doesn't have that as much time to work with the linebackers. So Max Bullock's probably going to be doing a lot of the work. And James Laurinaitis, like the job that he did, I mean, I'm sure he did his best.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't as experienced as Max is, so that's why I definitely think the linebackers will take a step forward and hopefully help us in the big games, the three big games, the Buckeyes, the Trojans, and the Tigers. So hopefully it'll help us with the tackling in that game.
Oh, for sure. I look forward to that.
I know, John. I mean, I still think that Notre Dame is better off with Marcus Freeman, but I'm still going to keep my word on that. But I did not think that LSU would be doing this well with BK.
Right. Todd Gwynn is saying Bobo is okay, but not a good OC.
Yeah.
But Johnny.
I think D-Rock makes a great point here.
Oh man.
Why couldn't of that money from the BK buyout and the Reese buyout go into the Ludwig hire? Why did it have to go into like wherever it went, like the science department, the business department, the theology department? That's all great and all. But
Maybe
why?
honestly, I think Andy Ludwig knows something we don't.
I think Andy wanted to go to Notre Dame, but they just weren't willing to splash the cash.
Pony up the dough, so to speak.
Yeah, great point by D-Rock. It's just frustrating why the administration refuses to support the athletic department. It's just nauseating, honestly.
I think maybe Andy Ludwig is the head coach in waiting, possibly at Utah. Because, I mean, I've heard reports that Kyle Whittingham does not want to coach past 65. Right now, he's 64. So maybe that's the case. But we don't know.
They know how to pile up the cash. They just don't know how to spend it. It's like in a video game where you're trying to buy something, but it's a glitch and it won't let you buy it. It seems like it's like that, except it's not a glitch. They just don't want to spend the money.
Right. Oh,
Edward,
I made a mistake. Kyle Whittingham's actually 63. He'll be 64 later this year.
Edward's not a Bobo fan either. Bobo was not great. He was at Georgia before and wasn't it. The Bobo hire will hurt them in the playoff.
Oh, for sure. Todd Gwynn's not a Bobo fan either. Bobo is okay, but not a good OC.
Yeah.
If Bobo's job is come in and babysit Monken's system, then Georgia may be all right. If he's told to overhaul system, run his system, there probably won't be a three-peat in Athens. Well, if I could bet on the national champion right now, Georgia's not yet. So
CJ must have gotten a package. Well, maybe CJ was guaranteed. I don't know if he was given a package, but I do think that he was definitely recruited well by Tommy Reese and Marcus Freeman. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
I'm not defending them too, man.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like Ron Paulus also didn't help.
Oh,
for sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Yakov 22 says Bobo will look pretty good with all those five stars. The players.
I mean, maybe there was something, but they're definitely not going to reveal it.
Oh yeah.
But come on now. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But Ron Paulus was a tool. I mean, he does not definitely not leaving himself a good legacy as a player or as a coach.
Johnny Delane's got something to say in the chat about BK.
I mean, BK definitely wasn't supported as well as he should have been. Same with Marcus Freeman. I mean, I've never argued against that, man. But I just felt like BK could have recruited a bit too. But yeah, BK was not supported well. I mean, the best support he got was the Marcus Freeman hire. I think he was threatening to leave if Marcus didn't come to South Bend, and he did.
Ooh, that's some big news right there.
Yeah. CJ, I do think. Well, both schools are pretty pristine, man. I mean, even as someone that doesn't necessarily root for Michigan because of all the heartache that we've received against the Wolverines, I feel like both schools are pretty pristine. And but I mean, I feel like Michigan recently has had better quarterbacks than Notre Dame, especially with JJ. And I guess Cade was about Ian Book level, maybe not even that good. But
JJ Jet Plane McCarthy.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have a great game against TCU, but he certainly had a great game against the Buckeyes. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun to look at who's going to be the new OC.
Yeah.
But you're right though that Wake Forest guy. Not sure if he's going over to Notre Dame because I mean Sam Hartman, got away from the Wake Forest system.
Yeah.
Someone asked the great Red Auerbach, former Celtics coach who won 9 titles. Oh man, 50s, 60s were big for the Celtics. What
Mm-hmm.
is secret to your success? His answer was get great players. That's the key, my friend. That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and while Notre Dame is getting great players, if they would, Notre Dame is getting better players than they were not getting like some of the best players that they've gotten at specific positions that they've gotten in a while. Like wide receiver recruiting was never this good under BK, but I mean the D line also has faltered a bit without Washington. So if we can get those positions, if we can get better recruits at those positions, we can hopefully be better.
Oh.
Notre Dame's facilities, well, before Jack Swarbrick and Brian Kelly got there, they weren't great. But now they're great. So, I mean, they're not like as good as like Clemson, but they're definitely, I would say, top 25 for sure facilities.
Right.
It's definitely not, doesn't hinder the program. Does it help it? Maybe it probably helps more than programs like Wake Forest for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Wakey Forest.
Yeah. Yeah, and the culture has always been good at Notre Dame for a while. So, I mean, the culture is probably not going to be a problem unless if everything falls apart. And Buckeye Mike, of course, not a JJ fan, but he has looked better than pretty much any quarterback in a while.
Oh man, I wonder what he's got against JJ. Oh yeah, Ohio State, Michigan.
I mean, D-Rock, the thing is with Notre Dame fans is people are going to pay to go to Notre Dame games no matter how expensive they are, which is great, but also Notre Dame fans have a hard time really making a point to their program because I feel like we can't really protest because they're saying it by not showing up because the stadium's going to be packed every time. But maybe we can protest this. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. This is a bit of a wacky idea. But what if there's like a protest before the spring game starts? We like protest against Swarbrick and Father John Jenkins. Do you think there's any chance that would work? I hope that would work, but who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. A little protest. We want Marcus Freeman to get the coaches he wants. Like something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun to see.
But it'll be interesting to see if it gets filled up. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Between Reese being one and done with Freeman and the struggle to hire Reese's replacement, you're a little worried about this upcoming season, right?
Well, I mean, I was extremely excited if we were going to get a good OC hire, but now I'm a little worried about the offense. But I feel like the talent at the offense is going to be better than it's been in a long time, so it should be good. And I'm hoping that the linebacker situation is fixed. But I mean, I'm not as excited, but I'm not necessarily dreading it. D-Rock's not going. He hasn't watched a men's basketball game in 2 years. Really? You boycotted the Bama? You boycotted the tournament, the 2 tournament games too, D-Rock? I mean, I don't watch that much Notre Dame basketball because I don't actually go to the school. Unfortunately, I couldn't get in. I watch more VCU games because I go to VCU.
Someone's asking if Notre Dame sells beer at the football games. I don't know, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure they do. I went to a game, but I thought people were drinking, but I don't really remember.
Oh man, last time
I'm pretty sure they sell beer. I'm pretty sure they sell beer. Even though I went to the game, I don't know why. I don't remember that many beers being drank, but I thought there were beers.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of there being any drunk drivers.
Yeah, that's true.
Coming off the stadium, it's like, oh man, don't want any car wrecks.
I think 3 quarterbacks. I think that's a little much.
Wow, 3 quarterbacks.
I think 3 is a little much. But I mean, I'm fine if you do it. I'm fine if you do it at the beginning of the year. but by the end of the year, running 3 quarterbacks, it just seems like a little much to me.
Oh man. John Delane was saying just now, seems like Notre Dame should at least sell communion wine at their football games. Blessed by a tree.
Oh my god, that's too much, man. That's too much.
What? No body of Christ either at the.
Who's going to be calling the plays? Well, if we don't get the offensive coordinator situation figured out, it'll probably be Jared Parker until he's named OC or someone else is.
Oh, D-Rock Irish is.
Oh, D-Rock's drinking the wines. Is that some Sauvignon Blanc, D-Rock, or
Let's
is it
see.
something else?
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
communion wine's fine, but I feel like drinking communion wine at a football game is the most holy thing.
yeah.
Bray was an embarrassment. Yeah, Bray. I mean, I loved his teams when they were rolling, and he seemed like a good guy, but he definitely was kept around too long, for sure.
Right.
Oh, I got it. First try. Let's go. Sauvignon Blanc. I got it. Oh, I'm fired up about that. I'm starting to feel a little bit better.
There you go. Want some chocolate to help your SARS, man? Buy it half off tomorrow.
Oh my god.
But in all seriousness, though, I did hear a report yesterday where Mike Bray is not retiring despite stepping down.
I feel like he might go to some other program then. I don't think he should be kept at Notre Dame.
Yeah. But like tonight, Coach K is at his first game at Duke since he retired. So far, Duke's winning against Notre Dame 31-23, 53 seconds left in the first half.
I mean, they should be beating Notre Dame by more. Notre Dame's basketball team isn't great right now. I feel like they should beat up on the Irish. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who's next on the line.
Well, no one right now, but I'll drop the link if John or anyone else wants, Todd, D-Rock, anyone wants to come on.
John, you want to come on and talk about possibility of Notre Dame, Michigan coming back before this decade ends?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, let's bring it back. I mean, NBC executives are going to bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they're going to. Money, 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 money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Duke should beat Notre Dame, and I don't even know much about basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame last year maybe could have beaten Duke, but not this year. Please take Chris Holtmann. I'll pat. I thought Chris Holtmann was a good coach, man. But I don't know what happened this year. I mean, it looked like the Buckeyes were definitely going into the right direction. But this year, it's just a big bump in the road.
Oh, man. Just wait. Yeah, this year's been a disaster for the Ohio State in college basketball.
Mm-hmm. We have Buckeye Mike coming in.
Oh, man.
What's up, Mike? What do you think about this whole situation with the Irish?
It kind of stinks because y'all are in a sticky situation.
It does stink. Yeah.
And currently, there is no way to get Michigan, Notre Dame back unless it's a bowl game because they're not scheduled until 32, 33.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that they'll bump it up, but who knows? Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. But
usually, when they set the schedule, it's set in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because if you think about it, if for whatever reason could bump that up, don't you think Notre Dame play Ohio State more, or play Penn State more, or Purdue, or any other?
I mean, there's history with Penn State and Purdue too. But the Michigan game is just, I don't know, man. I was always fired up for that Michigan game.
Everybody gets fired for Michigan.
Oh, the Rod Farva is saying Notre Dame, Michigan not playing is a shame. And like Texas and well, you're going to get your wish with Texas A&M next year.
Oh, yeah, big history with Michigan State.
Oh, man, that's a beautiful rivalry as well. That's dearly missed.
Oddly enough, the one memory I have from that series you wouldn't like.
Is it the Little
2010.
Giants play in 2010?
I think so. The botched
Yes,
field goal.
it was the 2010 game. It was on ABC Saturday night. And that fake field goal. Then, unfortunately, Coach D'Antonio wound up having a heart attack from the excitement of that fake field goal. But was happily out of the hospital.
Well, you know what? That was the last time that D'Antonio only beat Notre Dame one more time after that. Not much winning for Michigan State in that rivalry after that. So at least we have that on them. But
Yeah. But if everyone remembers, 2010, he didn't coach that game against Wisconsin, and he didn't coach the game against Northern Colorado, but he did come back against Michigan, and they shellacked him 34-17 at that time.
I remember. I think both teams at that time were undefeated, weren't they? Michigan and Michigan State.
Yeah. Michigan was unbeaten.
And then Michigan went downhill after that, and then fired Rich Rod.
Yeah.
We have some join the Big Ten. Well, if Notre Dame's not going to pay for their offensive coordinator, I feel like they're not going to join the Big Ten.
What?
I mean, I feel like if they're not, I feel like that just lessens the likelihood that they're going to join the Big Ten.
With USC, UCLA joining the Big Ten, it makes sense. And based on location, it makes sense. But, I mean, I don't care where you go. Just join a conference.
With what D-Rock says here. Heck, forget joining a conference. Domer admin can't even secure a quality offensive coordinator and competent backup coach.
But, yeah.
And we have Mike, thank you for the support. Thank you for the moral support, Mike. Look at it. To be fair, this makes what Lou did in the late 80s and early 90s look even more impressive. That he was able to fight through all the dumb administration and everything to end up winning a national championship with the clown show and the admin. It makes what Lou did look even more impressive. It's kind of sad, but it's true.
Oh, Mike Rotunda.
And they got close in 89, 90, and 93 as well. And I guess they got close in 92 too. Those were all great teams.
Was it 90 or 91? You guys came up short against Colorado in the title.
1990. And it was sketchy. It was a sketchy call at the end. It was a kickoff return for a touchdown. And then there was it was block in the back, they call it now, but it was called clipping back then. And we lost because of that. But that Colorado team was very good as well. So, did they deserve the national championship? Even though they had there was another game in their schedule that year that was also the refs also gave them. I think, what team was it against? Was it against Missouri? The fifth down, because they had a fifth down in another one of their wins.
Yeah, the Missouri-Colorado fifth down game of 1990.
Yeah, 1990, they had 2 wins that were extremely sketchy. So,
a win's a win in the record book.
Yeah, it is a win in the record book. But yeah.
Oh man, Mike Rotonda's got some advice for you about Notre Dame. Will, about
what's your advice, Mike?
Oh, it's about the how you guys should bring the wishbone back.
No, but it's not 1988. It's not 1988. We did use the wishbone a bit back in the day when we won the national championship. But
nostalgia is one big drug, so
yeah. But let's look at the other offense.
Don't people realize most of the offenses nowadays is score, 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 sling, sling, sling it?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Best regular season in years that they joined the Big Ten.
Yeah, their resume would look awesome if they would go somehow undefeated in the Big Ten, but Notre Dame doesn't want to legally join a conference.
Roger Rogers said, I met Lou Holtz on the set of the Gold Girl. Oh, man, that's so cool. You got to meet Lou Holtz.
Lou was pushed out because Lou didn't like the academic. Lou liked bringing in players that weren't. I think I know I read this somewhere. I think it was the reason was that Lou Holtz liked bringing in players that like weren't like as academically smart as they wanted them to. Yeah, 88 and 89 were great.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was 88.
88 they won. Yeah, 89 was good too. They lost to Miami, who won the national championship. That was their only loss that year.
Oh yeah, Miami shellacked them that week.
Oh, was it?
Well, it was 10-10. It was 10-10 at one point in that game, but I think it was like 27-10 at the end.
Isn't that what started the whole Catholics convicts thing?
No, that was 88, the year that they beat
1988.
Miami. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't
I
know
remember,
why the ACC doesn't make that like a protected rivalry for Notre
well,
Dame.
they probably want to make that a protected rivalry unless Notre Dame joins the ACC, which won't happen.
Well, I kind of think instead of Notre Dame Stanford, it should be Notre Dame at Miami on rivalry week.
Yeah, well, Miami was in rivalry week game until the rivalry ended, and then they switched to Stanford.
Yeah, no, but I don't know.
I know my old Notre Dame knowledge, John. I'm pretty good at old Notre Dame. Rick Meyer was a number 2 pick. He wasn't just a first round pick. He was a number 2 pick, and he was a bust, sadly. But
let's see. Mike
was a
Honda was saying, "Hey, remember the kid that had a girlfriend, but she wasn't real or something, but he loved her? That was crazy." Oh, Manti Te'o.
Manti Te'o, my
there's
hero
a whole
growing
thing
up.
about it on Netflix.
I love that man. And I still love him. He comes on the halftime show a lot on NBC.
Oh my gosh.
I still love Manti, even though he was not the smartest guy. Yes, John. Notre Dame fans love their member berries. You do too, though. Michigan fans do too. We're not the only one. We're like, oh yeah, I remember 1997. Do you remember 1997? Just like Notre Dame fans are like, do you remember 1988? I remember 1988.
The 2014 national title.
Well, 2014 isn't that far back, to be fair to the Buckeyes. It wasn't that. I mean, I remember that game pretty well. Both of them.
I mean, to be fair, we are still the only Big Ten school to get to the national championship in the CCF.
Oh, I remember.
Wishbone was the most boring offense ever.
Yeah, tell that to the Big 12.
D-Rock Irish is saying Lou needs to go in there and slap around Swarbrick.
I hope he does. D-Rock remembers the 73, 77, and 88 championships. He knows what it takes to win. The admin doesn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That 73 national championship against Alabama was a classic game.
Yep.
Oh my. Lou needs to get in and slap around Swarbrick for sure. Mike, were you at the game? Were you at the 89 game? In the 87 game? Those were good Notre Dame wins. Over. You probably weren't at the 88 game because it was in South Bend. Jack thinks that they'll get there in 2020. John thinks they'll get to the national championship in 2023. I think we're going to give Georgia or Bama a dogfight.
Michigan.
Rod doesn't think so.
Johnny, Michigan's life is going to get much easier when they go up against Georgia because of Georgia hiring Mike Bobo to be the next OC. So,
and then Harbaugh will leave and we'll go back to 9 to 10 win seasons.
I could see that.
Oh yeah, Notre Dame hockey's been pretty well. Notre Dame and Michigan hockey have both been very good in the past couple of years.
But yeah, Buckeye Mike, what's your take on Andy Ludwig staying in Utah instead of leaving for Notre Dame?
I mean, like I told Will, it stinks for him.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely hurt for you,
Mm-hmm.
but it keeps part of Utah's environment and core that they need intact. So, Come on, life is not all pain.
Mm.
I mean, I think in the long run, maybe he made the right decision because realistically, if you look at it, all Utah has to do is win enough games and barely lose if they lose at all, and win the conference, which they've already done twice in a row, to make the playoffs. You go to Notre Dame, your expectations are basically you have to go undefeated because if you don't go undefeated, because you're not in a conference and you won't have that extra data point, you're most likely making the playoffs in a 14 playoff.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, that's everybody's argument, and I admit that's been mine the whole time for Notre Dame. But in the long run, it's just freaking 12 expansion happening coming. That argument goes away because all you have to do is win enough games just to win. The challenge for you right now, Notre Dame, is have you hired enough people to get over the 8-win, 9-win hump? Because it's been a while since you've been to 10 wins.
It's been 2020. It wasn't that long ago. No, actually, no. We got over 10 wins in 2021.
Okay.
But our schedule was pretty easy that year, to be fair. But yeah.
But yeah, the Rod Favre says 2 years in a row, Michigan blew their wad through Ohio State. 2 years in a row, they took advantage of poor Ohio State defensive coaching. 2 years in a row, Michigan finally emphasized the game like Ohio State. You know, I kind of feel like there's going to be some kind of 10-year war between Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
If Harbaugh stays long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wants to be the guy that brings the national title for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm kind of yes, I don't like Michigan for obvious reasons, but at the same time, I just want to get the pain over with and just let Jim Harbaugh win a national title because the second he does, he's booting back to the NFL. All he's really, if he realizes he can't win a national title, all he's really doing is waiting for the perfect NFL job to open up. A lot of people, including John in the chat, doesn't like it, but I do think when we had the interview with him, he did admit that that's probably what it is. He's just waiting for the prime opportune NFL job to open.
But you know what they say, the right one will come.
Mm-hmm.
That's like today's theme.
Mm-hmm. He goes with this. Yeah. Hart doesn't know what he wants.
Nope. Not at the moment he doesn't. It's kind of like, you know, the breakup on Friends, you know. What was it, Ross and Rachel? You know, they're breaking up. They're getting back together. They're breaking up. They're getting back together.
Ross is getting married. Oh my God! He said my name on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
I take the Rachel. I mean, whoever it was, Monica. Monica. I forget who he's gonna marry.
But yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing with you know, the NFL head coaching jobs and Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just feel like overall, coaches in college have too much power. And I mean, what I mean is like Harbaugh gets to dangle every year of, I want to test the waters with the NFL. No, I want to stay at Michigan. Brian Kelly just gets to decide when he up and leaves whatever program he's at. He is going to go down in the history books as a bouncing coach to have success.
Mm-hmm.
He was at Cincinnati for a while. He found his ceiling. Came to Notre Dame for like 10 years. Found his ceiling. Bounced at LSU and went to LSU. And he's just going to keep bouncing around. And why people don't like him outside of you, it is because of the way he leaves.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
He literally left before the bowl game against Florida, which they should have won. And he leaves Notre Dame for LSU before the bowl game.
Mhm.
So I have a question for you, Buckeye Mike. Who do you think will be the next offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, and why will
Mhm.
this name be the next OC?
I don't know. I mean, you know, we just saw Maryland pull Kevin Sumlin out of the USFL. So I mean, if Notre Dame,
I don't know if Kevin Sumlin's the most exciting hire. But,
well, I'm just my point that I was trying to get to was like
yeah.
you could pull anyone from anywhere,
Mhm.
and it's kind of weird to me because in my eyes, Maryland's not really pristine where Notre Dame has the prestige. You know, it's more when you think of, oh man, I have two offers in front of me. I got Maryland and I got Notre Dame. It's like Maryland, I'm like, But Notre Dame, it's Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Right. But yeah, it's something to think about. The OC hire for Notre Dame. It's going to be pretty big. But like Kevin Sumlin does have some bright sides on him. I mean, the fantastic job he was doing with Casey Keenum at Houston, and those 2 years with Johnny Manziel, they were pretty good.
Mhm.
But like afterwards, he kind of just went downhill, so to speak.
Mhm.
Well, I just think he didn't have a quarterback that really fit his system. I mean, yeah, Kellen Mond was good. I don't think it
Why
would.
not Charlie Weiss Jr.?
Oh yeah,
I mean, we could. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Charlie would do good, but I mean, he's the offensive coordinator under Lane Kiffin right now, and I feel like Lane's really the one calling the shots there, not Charlie. But I mean, if it could work out, maybe I would take him. But I don't know. I think Jared Parker would be the safer choice there.
I mean, what do you think, Bill? I think that if you look at the two most recent coaches you guys have had, I think the Charlie Weiss era was more successful or better than the BK era.
Well, the big problem with Charlie was that he couldn't coach fundamentals because he was from the NFL and he just assumed that all the players knew fundamentals. So the players that when he got there, like Brady Quinn, all those guys that were his year, they all knew the fundamentals from Tyron Willingham, and they were ready to get that scheme that Charlie Weiss put in New England, and they did well for 2 years. I mean, the defense was bad, so that's why they
Right.
couldn't win the big games against USC. And 05 they lost to Michigan State. 06 they lost to Michigan. And then they lost both the bowl games to the Buckeyes, of course, and LSU. But I mean, those were good teams, though. But after
Yeah,
that, it was pretty bad. Like
I mean,
07, 3-9 in 2007. 2008, 7-6 with a bowl win against Hawaii, and then 6-6. They just didn't go to a bowl and fired Charlie Weiss.
I mean, what do you think? I know it's hard to think back, but like with that specifically, what do you think caused the drastic breakdown from losing to Ohio State by 2 touchdowns, turning around, going on the other side of the country to the Sugar Bowl and getting shellacked by Les Miles' LSU team?
I mean, I think it was just not good game planning. Maybe. I mean, I mean, to be honest, I was too young to really understand what was going on. I was just go Irish, go Irish. Didn't really get what was going on then because I was 4 years old in 05. I was 5 years old in 06.
Oh
So,
my gosh,
yeah.
But yeah, Charlie Weiss.
D-Rock does not want Charlie Jr.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, of course, Charlie got that $18 million buyout
Mm.
after
Oh,
09.
oh man, getting that
that cash by that big money cash from Notre Dame and Kansas.
Mhm.
I mean, to your point, to go back on the actual topic, to your point, I think that the easiest thing to do is hire a replacement from within. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but
I mean, it's probably what's going to happen. They're probably going to hire Jared Parker, who is the offensive coordinator at West Virginia before being the tight ends coach at Notre Dame. It'll probably be him. Yeah.
do you think that Notre Dame has the capability to run a style of offense that West Virginia ran with Steve Slayton and Pat White?
No, not right now. They're not right now. Notre Dame is probably gonna run like probably more of like a balanced pass run sort of
And
offense.
style of offense.
Yeah, but more passing than it was under Brian Kelly. A bit more passing. But yeah.
Parker never called the plays at West Virginia, and Neil Brown did. That's from D. Rock Irish.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but he did learn a bit from it. But I mean, Parker was in the booth with Tommy, so it shouldn't be that big of a transition, hopefully. I don't know. Whoever is the OC.
So much dislike for Neil Brown.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he does
anyways,
have 20
yes. But we do have a show tonight at the Young Guns at 11. We're gonna be doing a college basketball pick'em, so
Check it
fun.
out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a whole mess at Notre Dame right now, and I just hope that we can get the most out of Sam Hartman this year.
I believe
But
he will.
it's a little messy right now. But I think Marcus Freeman will get at least a competent offense,
I say this with all the love.
and that's nice and balanced. So I mean, I feel like the pieces are all there. It's just the play calling. It's got to be good. Oh, I hope
All
that's
I'll
not on
say
my
is
end.
don't have expectations higher than they probably should. Things don't go the way you think they're going to go. Just be okay with it.
John Delane is saying Sam Hartman should have transferred to Bama.
Wouldn't have been a good.
I mean, he maybe could have won the job at Bama, but
I don't know if he would have fit. He fits better at Notre Dame.
yeah. And when Reese transferred over to Bama, Hartman was already enrolled in classes, so
Right.
that would have been so I think he would have had a redshirt a year. So I think it was too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could always pull a JT Daniels, enroll at Notre Dame for a year, then go be in Alabama for a year.
Yeah. But I think he'll just go straight to the draft after 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what did you think, Will, of the big news of the Notre Dame alum Jack Tone?
I mean, I'm happy for Jack, but I don't know how he's going to do. I have no idea, but definitely got me more interested in the XFL now. I mean, I was going to watch the Defenders game, the DC Defenders game, so yeah.
Definitely be interesting. I hope he has success.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Definitely one to learn the system pretty quickly.
Well, there's a lot of debates over the Fiesta Siesta Bowl between Michigan TCU in the chat.
I'm just trying to stay on topic here, man. I mean, they could talk about what they want. I just want to stay on topic with Notre Dame because this is a Notre Dame show.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we broke the fourth wall. But yeah, it's going to be pretty fun to figure out what 2023 is going to be like.
Mhm.
But
I'm just hoping that. What's up, Mike?
Well, I was going to say, do you think that maybe we see CJ at some point this year, or do you think that
CJ's going to be a senior in college, in high school this year, so he's got a whole another year in high school, unfortunately.
Oh, I wish I would have known it.
All right. Thanks for coming, D-Rock. But our freshman quarterback, Kenny Minchie, looks pretty exciting this year. He did very well in the Elite 11 show. So I'm hoping he might get a game or two, but he's definitely not going to get more than 3 because he's going to redshirt for sure. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. I'm just hoping that our offensive coordinator will be good enough to at least put up points on the best teams and keep them in it. But yeah, for sure. But anyways, I think we had a great talk about Notre Dame, guys. Do you guys just want to shout out? You want to shout out your channel, Mike? Because Mike's got a channel too.
Yeah. Buckeye Mike on YouTube. Got a lot of stuff coming up. Starting a bunch of series and doing some stuff this weekend. So you just want to pop in, say hi. Finally starting to get the subscriber count up, so go over there and subscribe. Yeah.
you want to see some cool stuff? Come on the Jackson Johnson channel, like, comment, subscribe, and put that notifications on the bell, and you'll see some awesome. You're gonna see some very awesome content.
All right. I was trying to find everyone's links.
And
before we go.
also check out the Young Guns. It's one of the best shows in the sports world. So if you want some awesome live streams, check it out. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also, most importantly, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification on the bell on the Voice of College Football. It is the best college football channel in all of YouTube.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. There's some big Notre Dame news, but thanks for coming on, everyone.